Once upon a time, not too long ago, one company ruled the world of mobile phones. That company was Nokia. If you had a phone in the early 2000s, there was a very high chance it was a Nokia. They were everywhere, known for being tough, reliable, and having batteries that lasted for days. By 2007, they held almost half of the entire smartphone market. They were on top of the world, an unstoppable giant that seemed too big to ever fail. It felt like their dominance was permanent, a fact of life in the tech world. The problem was that while Nokia was enjoying its success, the ground was shifting beneath its feet. The world of technology never stands still, and change was coming fast. In 2007, Apple introduced the very first iPhone. It was a complete revolution. It didn't just have a keyboard, the whole front was a screen you could touch. A year later, Google's Android operating system arrived, offering a new and open alternative. These new ideas completely changed what people expected from a phone. They weren't just for calling anymore. They were for browsing the internet, watching videos, and running apps. Nokia saw these changes happening, but they didn't react fast enough. They were comfortable with their existing Symbian operating system and their familiar phone designs. They thought their brand loyalty and market share would protect them. They made small improvements to what they already had, but they failed to embrace the massive shift towards touchscreens and app ecosystems. This hesitation proved to be a fatal mistake. They underestimated how quickly consumers would move to the new, more exciting user experiences offered by Apple and Android. The fall was shockingly fast. Within just a few years, Nokia's massive market share evaporated. By 2013, it had fallen from nearly 50% to a mere 3%. The company that once defined the mobile phone industry had become a ghost, a cautionary tale whispered in boardrooms. It's a powerful lesson that echoes through the tech world today. It shows that no company, no matter how big or successful, is safe if it stops innovating and ignores the next big thing. Success today guarantees nothing about success tomorrow. Today, a new wave of innovation is happening, but it isn't coming from the places you might expect. For years, the battle was between Apple in California and Samsung in South Korea. Now, the most exciting and daring ideas are coming from Chinese companies like Huawei, Xiaomi, and Honor. These companies are not just trying to copy what others are doing, they are pushing the boundaries of what a phone can be. They are experimenting with new shapes, new materials, and new technologies in ways that feel fearless and exciting. Take for example the idea of a foldable phone. While Samsung got the ball rolling, Chinese brands have taken the concept and sprinted with it. They are making devices that are thinner, lighter, and more ambitious. In late 2024, Huawei did something truly groundbreaking. They released the Mate XT, the world's first commercial tri-fold smartphone. It's a device that can unfold into a massive 10.2-inch tablet. It makes a regular foldable phone suddenly seem like old news. This wasn't just a small step, it was a huge leap in hardware design. This aggressive innovation isn't limited to just one company or one product. Honor is creating ultra-thin foldables that challenge the laws of physics. Other brands are putting massive camera sensors and advanced periscope lenses into their phones, features that are still rare in the mainstream market. And it's not just about hardware. In late 2024, Huawei also launched HarmonyOS Next, a brand new operating system built from the ground up. This shows a deep commitment to creating a complete and independent ecosystem, a move that takes incredible resources and vision. What we are seeing is a fundamental shift in the landscape of innovation. These companies are not afraid to take risks. They are releasing bold products like Huawei's all-glass laptop from May 2025 that challenge our very idea of what a device should look and feel like. They are moving fast, constantly experimenting and showing the world what's next. This creates a stark contrast with some of the more established players in the market who seem to be moving at a much slower, more cautious pace. Now let's look at Apple. For more than a decade, the iPhone has been the gold standard, the device that sets the tone for the entire industry. But recently, that feeling of revolutionary change has faded. Instead of big, exciting leaps, we have been getting small, predictable steps. Since around the iPhone 12, the strategy has clearly been one of refinement, not reinvention. Each new model brings slightly thinner bezels, a minor tweak to the camera, or a new shape for the screen cutout. These changes are nice, but they are not game changers. This trend of slow, incremental updates was on full display at the recent WWDC 2025 conference. One of the big software announcements was a new design language called Liquid Glass, which basically makes some interface elements look translucent. It's an aesthetic polish at a time when competitors are reshaping hardware and software with AI. Apple did introduce Apple Intelligence, its own take on AI, but it relies on partners like ChatGPT for more difficult tasks. It feels like Apple is playing catch-up rather than leading the charge into the new era of computing. The slow pace can be frustrating, especially when you consider that some features announced at the previous year's conference, WWDC 2024, still haven't been delivered. It gives the impression of a company that has become so large and successful that it has become cautious. The incredible growth in Apple's valuation, reaching $3 trillion, was built on a powerful brand and a locked-in ecosystem. But this success might also be making the company less willing to take the big risks that made it famous in the first place. The iPhone 16 looked a lot like the iPhone 15, which looked a lot like the iPhone 14. While the phones are excellent, the lack of visible, exciting innovation is becoming more noticeable every year. The strategy seems to be, don't break what isn't broken. But in the fast-moving world of technology, what isn't broken today can quickly become obsolete tomorrow. This slow march of refinement looks dangerously similar to the path Nokia walked right before its world turned upside down. So, we find ourselves at a crossroads. On one side, we have the bold, rapid innovation coming from companies in China. They are launching trifold phones and building new operating systems from scratch. On the other side, we have Apple, the current king of the market, focusing on safe incremental updates and polishing its existing formula. The contrast is impossible to ignore. It feels like we are watching the story of Nokia play out all over again, but with different characters in the leading roles. Apple is now the dominant giant, comfortable at the top. The lesson from Nokia's collapse is crystal clear: complacency is the enemy of progress. Market leadership can create a dangerous illusion of safety. It can make a company believe its current success is a permanent state of being. But technology doesn't care about past achievements. It only cares about what's next. A company that stops taking big swings and settles for small, safe improvements is putting its future at risk, no matter how much money it has in the bank or how many loyal customers it has today. For Apple, the path forward requires a change in mindset. The company built its legacy on thinking differently, on having the courage to make the rest of the industry obsolete. It needs to rediscover that spirit. It needs to move beyond just making the iPhone a little bit better each year, and ask what comes after the iPhone. The world is moving towards new form factors and a future dominated by artificial intelligence. Simply refining the past is not a winning strategy for the long term. Ultimately, this is a story about the relentless nature of innovation. No one stays on top forever just by being on top. Leadership must be earned, again and again, with every product cycle. The companies that thrive are the ones that stay hungry. The ones that are willing to tear up their own successful blueprints to create something new and better. The warning for Apple, and for any industry leader, is simple: innovate or risk becoming the next great cautionary tale.